Hello Aquarius, it's Jenny here with your August Tarot Horoscope. So just going to pull a single card for the month of August. I am coming down with a bit of a cold and my throat's real sore, so we're probably going to keep it pretty short and sweet so I don't blow out my voice. But the first 2/3 of August is Leo season, and then after that we're going to be rolling into Virgo season. So when we're in Leo season, that's the 6-month point from your birthdays, Aquarius. So there's going to be some kind of polarized energy here for you. And the card I have for you for August is 9 of Wands in reverse. So this is the way he looks the right way up. We have this big kind of forest scene. It's very kind of autumn hues. We have this man, he's kind of walking through the forest here, all these tall trees of the wands here. And down below we have this sort of frog man lying down in reach with his arm extended. And it came out upside down like that, okay? So we're going to see what the 9 of Wands has to say for you. Okay, 9 of Wands. Stalking. This card is a symbol of searching, of awareness, and of intuitive perception. Many things are growing, see the 9 wands, and changing, the autumn scene. Like a hunter stalking his prey or a scout exploring the way, you need to be intuitively alert and vigilant. Naturally, this card is not about the actual hunter or scout as a profession. It is a symbol of heightened awareness as a personal way of being. If your perception has been heightened, you will be better able to understand the motives and hidden interests behind certain actions. Thus, you will be able to discover the green man in the woods. This figure appears in many traditions. He symbolizes nature around us and within. Dali depicts his green man with frog's feet, thus making him an amphibious creature living between water and earth. He reaches out to the stalking hunter. On the one hand, this card shows us the final goal of all our searching. Intuition and awareness are the path as well as the destination, the journey as well as the reward. Sometimes we get lost in routine and repetition. We fail to perceive the great mystery that is awaiting us. On the other hand, this card encourages us to say goodbye to the uncivilized life of a semi-barbarian. Intuition and awareness serve to overcome certain primal fears. Let go of redundant instincts and presumptions. Trust your actual perceptions and learn from all your experiences. Practical advice. Your actual situation challenges you to become more vital and to live life to the fullest. Abandon your old fears and fulfill your most important wishes. Activate your senses. Learn to recognize outdated habits. Okay, so intuition. Aquarius. Obviously, for a lot of you, your strong suit is your mind, your powers of rationality, and your ability to have that insight and make those kinds of connections in an intellectual way. And what we're looking for with here is intuition, which is insights from a different place, a deeper place, a more primal place that has less to do with what you know and more to do with just this not just instincts. Instincts are more about our survival primal bodies in the way that keeps us alive. And intuition is it's this really kind of interesting, almost this combo of that primal instinct for survival that just kicks in when you don't even understand it. And a different, and that eureka moment you have when you're thinking and you have this sudden insight where you connect the dots in a mental way. It's like that flash of insight. Intuition is kind of like this very similar melding of something that you perceive with no way of having gotten there. Intuition isn't just putting together the pieces. It's usually this feeling of I don't know where that came from, but I know it's true. But instead of it being based in instinct, which is about survival, intuition is giving us something that's about the next level. That's this evolutionary step that just takes us that next step that we have a hard time getting to on our own. But if you have a very, very strong mind, it can be really sometimes challenging to allow that intuitive hit to land. You can get it and you get this sense of, oh my goodness, this is something that I'm feeling. This is something that I don't know where that came from. And then the rational mind can start to criticize it and say, well, okay, but where did that come from? Is that just wishful thinking? Or I don't know if that's real. Maybe I need to get the gears going. And so you can be given these wonderful intuitive hits and then be kind of afraid to use them until you've rationalized them. And we certainly do live often in the Western world in a scientific paradigm where nothing is real unless it's been peer-reviewed, unless it's been reproducible and in the study, and nothing's real unless we can see it and we've proved it. But intuition is something that that precedes that. Intuition is like this being able to see the beacon far away and say, I see something that's out there, and that I'm going to try to now bring myself closer to it. That which we intuitively know, we may eventually be able to prove and know didactically, but at the point of intuition, it's not, it isn't that yet. So our culture kind of, can and not value intuition, or rightfully be suspicious, because there's plenty of things that aren't intuition. It is just wishful thinking, and being able to tell the difference is a skill that needs to be practiced over time. And guess what? This month you get to practice it. Isn't that exciting? So this card is, yeah, it's really bringing us into a more intuitive and perception based place, which is really bringing us into the present moment. Being in the mind is often it's like time travel. You can be in the past with your thoughts, you can be in the future as well, but it can be sometimes hard to really be in the present when we're in our minds. And it doesn't have to be. We can be very present mentally, but it is a practice to not just be time traveling back and forth. So this invitation is to bring your presence into the present, like a hunter stalking, where it has to be. You can't just be thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow. You're going to miss what's here now. When your perceptions are heightened, the present becomes hyper real, and the present feels like it stretches on forever. It becomes all consuming when you are really, really in this moment of being a perceiving animal in the physical and instinctual way. And yet you can also have that at this elevated intuitive, and I don't say elevated like better or worse, it just means like out of just the primal body, into like this mental spiritual place of intuition, where you can have that core presence that's intuitive, not just body. I hope I'm explaining this all right. That you can exist in, and it's like this using our senses, but not just for the physical world. It's our senses through time and space, into the spiritual as well. The weird place that intuition comes from. So all of that to say, I said I was going to keep this short. I don't know that I will. This month, where we're trying to be landing into our intuitive space, so that you have a cushion for your powers of like intellect, and as well, where then once you've gotten your intuitive hit and you've been in this present moment for a while, then you can still use your powers of reasoning and take it to the next level. But we want to not just rely on that strength, but build other muscles as well. So this when we're in this month of August, like I said, the first 2/3 of it is Leo season, and Leo is the sign of the lion, very, very confident. But if I think about the lion in terms of being the primal animal, being an animal that stalks and hunts, even if the lion is more of a I'm getting too little here. It's more of a chase animal, but even still, there is that aspect of the stalking through the grass and being totally, totally present in the physical on the prey. And so there's this invitation to bring that kind of that lion essence that's fixed in this focus of on this goal, whether that goal is to see and perceive beyond where you are in the present. You're all going to have different goals, but it's bringing this predator focus in on whatever your goals are. That's really focused in the present moment, not just, I wish that would be this way, or I could perceive how this could be this way. Not just rationalizing it, but being in that physical kind of hunter body. Which is, yeah, it's the Leo is the polarized energy to Aquarius. So it's going to might feel like a bit of a challenge to embody that, because it is that opposite energy. And yet the polarity is always very complementary. So if you can really land into that confident presence, primal sort of state that allows for intuition to flow as well, that's going to be something that once you can land it and practice it, it's going to really, really complement your natural Aquarian strengths. So this is a really great time to practice that. Then towards the end of the month, we're going to be in Virgo season. Virgo season is a lot more about, it's an earth sign, so it's more about manifesting and working and building towards something in a practical way. So if, we're existing in this sort of more intuitive hit and this primal sort of hyper aware state as our perceptions and our intuition expand at the beginning kind of part of this month, Virgo is maybe when maybe we come away from that hyper present state, and we think, okay, now what do we want to do about it? We're gonna move forward, and we're gonna maybe make some plans and take some action in a very tangible, practical, and efficient way to get us towards whatever it is that we've received in that intuitive hit, that kind of that intuition that pulls us into the future. The Virgo is how we're going to get there, is the steps we're going to take. So that's what we're going to kind of focus in on the end of August. So yeah, this may you feel like a little vague, because whenever you're talking about intuition or those kinds of things, it can feel like really hard to pin it down, because it's not a phenomenon that is really easy to be pinned down like that. So bear with me if it takes a little while to land with you this month. Like, you may take a little while and then experience it. And really, once you do experience it, it's easier to say, oh, okay, like that's what that is. Once, rather than describing it, you recognize it more once you're there. So you can just kind of put this reading aside if it doesn't land with you right away, but just kind of keep it in your back burner so that you'll recognize the moment when it comes. So that's what's coming up for you this month. If you have any more questions specifically about the Leo energies that are going to be happening this month up until Virgo season, check out on my YouTube channel the Leo season forecast. It's a pay what you can workshop. Super helpful in terms of making you aware of more of the planetary energies that are going to be a part of things for this month. And so you can give that a look-see. It'll help you out. And until then, I will see you next month. Take care, Aquarius.